Hey, what's up, guys? All right, we're back for another one. So I'm gonna put together kind of a mixed review on the new Steeda Triax for the 2018 Mustang, since it is exclusive to the 18 Mustang manual transmission versus the Barton. Stay tuned. Keep watching. All right, guys. So this is the Barton. We're gonna directly compare this with the new, just released 2018 Steeda Triax race shifter. Okay, so this is pretty much everything that comes with the Barton. So you have the shifter itself. This will rotate freely if you choose to body mount this transmission. If you do not, then you could, of course, tie this into the transmission itself, which is great. So you've got this piece here. It's pretty solid. It's a 25% shift throw reduction, which is pretty solid. It goes in a car like so, and it feels really good. But so Barton does use a lot of O-rings and stuff. I don't know if that contributes to some of the playing gear or what the issue is. I actually think it's part of this back here, your two-post bracket. Okay, so the two-post bracket goes on the rear, as opposed to Steeda is just solid. So, I don't know if I can pick this up on camera, not very well, but there is rubber inside. Now, it's very hard for me to actually give this some play, but there actually is a lot of play. So, when you have this installed, completely solid. The only downside is you got a lot of vibration inside of the car. And then you've got so the NVH is a little bit higher, so you're going to hear it a little bit more too, and you'll feel it in the shifter. With Barton's design for the trans mount compared to the MGW, Barton's does not walk when it's in gear, which is awesome. So I experienced no walking whatsoever, but body mounting the Barton so it pretty much got rid of all of the vibrations I was feeling through the shifter. When I did that, I put the springs back in it. Right here, so give it a little bit more firmness. But I think that if this were maybe a little tighter on the post brackets, I don't know, maybe, but that's just kind of where it's at. Okay, so you can see some of the side-to-side movement play, and it doesn't take a lot of effort to do that. The shifter is solid. Is it an improvement over the OEM shifter? Dear Lord, yes. It's a solid product. My old Mustang, my 2016, I had a Steeda Triax, and I experienced less of that side-to-side movement. So I want to compare the Steeda directly against this Barton, since they're selling so well. And since Steeda sent me one, I might as well give it a good review. But not like good like I'm gonna favor them, but I'm gonna basically, in my opinion, let you know what I think about the two. So also the Barton. It's great that it comes with all of this stuff. It does come with this as well. It's very nice. It's got the O-ring inside and everything. If you plan on running the GT350 knob that's rethreaded for our transmissions, it does not fit. So there is this little piece inside there you got to take out. But anyway, so if you plan on running a 350 knob, it does go in with that little retaining clip out, but it's a very snug fit, and it doesn't allow the reverse lockout spring to pull it down. You kind of have to force it. So anyway, so much for that. But you could shim that down, or grind that down if you wanted to, and then it would work fine. One of the awesome things that Barton does include is this. So the way that works is this goes over top of your OEM lever, and then this will push that retaining pin out. So awesome. But that's pretty much the Barton in a nutshell. Great shifter. Let's see how it does against the Steeda. Okay, so here is the Steeda all laid out. Downfall to this, there is some assembly required. Not too bad though. So if you don't know what you're doing, they come with some nice, awesome colored instructions, very detailed. So the Barton didn't come with any of that. They basically give you a website to go check it out, which is fine either way, doesn't matter. But it's nice that you do get a paper copy, so you don't have to go run back and forth to the computer. But this all comes apart. You're going to utilize some of the OEM parts in the Steeda Triax, and kind of their method to the madness is if it's not broke, don't fix it. So you will reuse this piece here. No big deal really. It works fairly well. So, but these are nice and thick space. So once you actually have this pinched in there, it's going to eliminate any deflection. It's going to eliminate any deflection you have. So comes very well packaged. Has all your shims, grease, stuff like that. This is kind of a joke, really. I guess I should have just given you like a little squeeze tab. I think they used to come that way actually, but they give you Dynamat too. So, and the cool thing is with the GT350 shift knob, you have their version, and it has some play in there. So this won't interfere. It'll be it'll make for smooth, reverse lockout action, if you will. And then they use their single racket there, and it's really tough to get that thing in there. So this is kind of a oval shape, and when I used it in my 16 before, it works very, very well, and there's very little movement. So what we're going to do now is assemble this bad boy, throw it in the car, and then I'll show you the slop from the install, and then that'll be it. Alrighty, so we have the Steeda Triax installed, and again paired with the 350 shift knob and Steeda's reverse lockout collar. So show you the movement between the two since I did the last one. So let's put it in first gear. So you can see that there's pretty much no movement there. I mean, I really have to tug on this thing. So there's your second shift, third to fourth. So there is a 30% reduction compared to the 25 with the Barton. Can you feel that? It's I don't know, but what I can tell you is some of the things that I like about it is this reverse lockout collar with the 350 knob works flawlessly. It's excellent. Alright, so I spent a day, driving with the Steeda Triax, so I think I've got a pretty good feeling of, how it compares to the Barton. So there are some differences. There is that 5%, reduction in throw, one versus the other. Can you feel it? Not really, but maybe slightly. One of the things to note with the 350 knob, it does raise the lever arm a little higher, so that detracts from the throw. The longer it is, the longer the throw is going to be, but it still feels very short. The 350 knob is weighted, so it makes it feel very nice. I will say that I think that the Barton goes into gear, it kind of pushes into gear, if you will, where you still have to, I don't know, it's just different. It's a different feeling. Maybe the Barton felt a little snappier, the way is the word, but the Steeda is very notchy too, so not overly notchy. It's exactly the way you would want it to be. It's very direct. I would say that in my opinion, I think it might be more direct. It's more of a click into gear. So I do enjoy it. Over the past 24 hours driving with the Steeda over the Barton,
I think that I do like the way that the Steeda operates in going in gear, a little better. With the Barton, uh, occasionally I got like some lockout issues going into some of my higher gears, um, but I don't think that's really user error because I've had no problems with any of the others. It's just the higher gears. Um, when I'm up in RPM, it would lock out. This Steeda, I haven't, over the past 24 hours at least, I haven't had an issue. So NVH between the two, it's about the same. So there's less movement in gear with the Steeda. It is definitely more solid, a lot. NVH is about the same. Something different with the Steeda versus the Barton. So the Steeda, when you first turn on the car, because they don't have O-rings all throughout the shifter arms and stuff like that that attach to the transmission, you're going to hear the car start up, audibly hear it. It's different. Um, if you guys have ever been around like WRX and STIs that have done like the shifter bushings and stuff like that, you can basically hear the car start up inside a little louder through as the noise transmits through the metal and stuff like that. It's just different. Is it a good or a bad thing? It's just what it is. It's kind of cool, I guess, but there's no weird whine or anything like that. Um, Now the springs, both kits come with different springs that you can put in a shifter. If you haven't seen my other videos about the Barton and stuff like that, you can go watch them. But I started with transmounting the Barton with no addition. There's 2 extra additional springs not included, and it was perfect. As far as the side to side and the way it felt and stuff like that. So when I body mounted it, it was too loose. I had to put the springs back in it. So with the Steeda, I put the short springs in it to begin with, and it still felt kind of loose. And so what I did is I put the longer springs in there, which they say is for the more hardcore springs or whatever, but it's not overbearing at all. It feels just like it should. So overall, I'm happy. I think that I will be keeping the Steeda in the car. I do enjoy it. I think it feels really good. But yeah, hopefully, this review is kind of educated, or will educate some of you guys watching it. In whichever direction you're thinking about going. If you ever want to transmount your shifter, Barton, period, because Steeda doesn't even offer that. With the Steeda, if you're just going to body mount it and be done with it, I think that the Steeda, wins. I think that they make a better shift collar, because it fits with the 350 knob. But anyway, yeah, that's I think that's about the end of the video right there. So it's kind of a flip a coin deal. You flip a coin, you'll be happy either way. If you're body mounting, if you're gonna transmount it, Barton, So that's it. So we have some big things coming on the channel here soon. So I'm getting ready to go do some stock pulls on the car, see what the thing, get some baseline numbers and stuff like that, because we're about to bolt on a whole lot of extra horsepower. So the headers, the intake, the tune, stuff like that. And I want to be the first to film on YouTube a header with, header system with the active exhaust. I think that maybe a lot of you guys will enjoy that, because if you bought the active exhaust, that's a $900 option or so. So why just turn around and ditch it for something else? So I want to do that. It's a long system, so it's gonna require some cutting, just like when you do an X pipe. Which if you have an 18 with active exhaust and you have not done an X pipe, I don't know what you're waiting on. It is awesome. Absolutely dramatically changes the way the car sounds. So stay tuned to the channel, like this video, subscribe, go check out my other ones too. These things are, I'm trying to put these videos out, maybe a couple of times a week. So definitely, hit the bell or whatever, turn your notifications on with your subscription. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I don't know what I'm saying. I screwed up. Oh my gosh. Oh, I spit. It's so fast. I can't lift my head.